Hey viewers, welcome to my YouTube channel, Charity's Bubble. You can click on our link. I'm gonna put it at the end of this video, and like our videos, share and subscribe to our channel. I have a topic today that I want to talk about. I want to talk about the green card lottery. Because I have my friends back in Kenya who asked me, how did you end up in the US, and how did you become a citizen? So I want to talk about my journey. I've been here in the US for 7 years now, and I'm happy to be a US citizen. It doesn't come easy. It takes the grace of God for you to become a US citizen. So I want to tell you the journey, and maybe you can try and be lucky, or the hand of God can be there, and you find yourself maybe sitting on a chair like here and talking about it and trying to share with people. So how I ended up in the US is I came here through a green card lottery. Most people do not know about it, but in this program and more episodes, I'm going to talk about my journey and how I ended up becoming a US citizen, and I'm going to tell you my own personal journey. What did I do, or what happened? So first of all, back in Kenya, I used to have my own institution of hairdressing and beauty. Actually, I used to instruct people on hair and beauty. I had done that for close to 13 years. And then I had a friend of mine, her name is Kathy. She was my neighbor. She used to have a cyber cafe, and she just came. She was a very good friend of mine, and actually she's still a friend of mine, and I thank her for that step that she took, because she came to me and she was like, it's time for the green card. Why don't you apply? You never know, you might be lucky and get it. So what did she require to apply to get me for a green card lottery? Because I know that there are some people out there who will tell you, I'm going to fill out the green card for you and you have to pay me some amount of money for it. No, a green card lottery is free of charge. You only need to know what to do. You only have to have the information, because if you have the right information, you won't end up spending any money before you get into the winning of the lottery, because it's a lottery. What do I mean by a lottery? It's like you go, you put your money somewhere. It's in Kenyan terms, I would say something like charity sweepstake, whereby you go, you put a little bit of money, and then you look at, you check later if you have won. That's how a green card lottery is. So a green card is filled out every year on different countries, and Kenya is one of them. So for example, the green card lottery, the website is going to open on October 7th of this year at 12 noon. So if you check out, and I'm going to put the website that you can go to apply, because you can do it yourself. You don't have you don't need anybody to apply it for you. You can do it yourself. You can go to a cyber, go log in and apply, and fill out your green card, and then wait. So what was required to fill out a green card lottery was, number one, my date of birth. That is very, very important, my date of birth. How is it on my birth certificate? So on this, it's important for everybody to have their own birth certificate. I know most of us do not have a birth certificate, so it's if you want to come to if you are thinking of applying for a green card, it is very, very important for you to have a birth certificate. And then so that's for an individual. If you're married and you want to fill out a green card lottery, make sure that you have the information of your spouse, your husband, your wife. You must have their date of birth. You must have their name, their full name as it is written on their national ID card. By that, you know what I mean, the national ID card. And then, if you have kids, have their information, how it is on their birth certificate. Because you want to include them in the first instance that you are applying for the green card. You don't want to win the green card and later start thinking, whoa, I didn't put my kids in, I didn't put my husband in. It's going to be a lot harder. It's not. I'm not saying that you cannot petition and add them later. You can, but it takes a process. So the best thing for you to do is to have all that information before you go to apply for the green card. So when you are going to apply for the green card, you will go to their website. I'm going to put the website down there so that you can click on it. But right now it won't open for you. So I'm just going to put it at the end of this video so that you can click on it on October 7th. It's not right now, it's on October 7th. So we are kind of preparing ourselves to apply for the green card. When that time reaches and you go and you are on that website, what you will do is that they will tell you to create an account. So how do you create an account? An account is created by your email. You use your email address. It is going to ask you for a username. A username is the name that you will be using to log into that account. And the best thing to do so that you don't forget, use your email address as your username. Now, like mine, I put my first name and my second name at yahoo.com. It might be at yahoo.com, at gmail.com. It doesn't matter. So put your username as your put your email address as your username, and then select a password. Do not share your password with anybody, just select a password. And then it's going to ask you a series of questions to identify, like 3 questions to identify if you are the owner of that account. Maybe it can ask you your mother's maiden name, or your first pet, or the name of your first car. So the answers that you put there, it's very important for you to write them down on a piece of paper and keep them safely, because when you go to log in again, that website will ask you to verify yourself. So the verification will be by those answers that you asked. Another way, because you have linked your account to your mobile phone number, it might ask you or send a code on your mobile phone number. So those are the details that you have to maybe write down and keep them in a safe place. And I'm gonna and it's important because when I won my green card, I had lost my confirmation number. I could not remember it. I'm going to talk about a confirmation number later on, where it comes from. So it was very hard for me to know. Yes, I have won the green card lottery, but I've lost my confirmation number. So how do I go back there? I didn't have all this information, or I didn't understand it better until I came to the US and I studied that website. And so this is what I did not know at that time. So it's very important for you to remember your username, remember your password, remember the questions, the identity questions, or the verification questions that you put there. Those are very important. So write them down, keep them in a safe place, because when you apply the green card on October, you have to wait for a few months before you go to the results. So after that, you have created your account. So now you go entering your information. So if it's me, and I'm the applicant, I am the first applicant. So the first applicant will be my name, my date of birth. Is going to ask me about the name of my parents, and I'll put all that information. Actually, sometimes it will ask about their date of birth. It's important to know about it. And then the second applicant, this is if you are married. The second applicant will be the spouse, name, date of birth, and the information about their parents. That's important. And then if you have children, put their name and their date of birth. Of course, the names of their parents will be you and your spouse. So that's very important. So you do all that. Now, if someone is doing it for you, you'll find that form will ask you, are you being helped by a preparer? I didn't understand who was a preparer, but a preparer is if you are not filling out the form individually, it's being done, you're being helped by someone. It's very important for you to write the name of that person who is helping you there. So that way they know, even when you go to the, when you go to the American embassy, that is after you have won the green card, their mates or their stories that are given that they don't understand or whatever, no, those people are very understanding, and they know according to if it was prepared by another person, they are able to help you more, because they understand that you don't know the system very well. So if you didn't do it by yourself, do not be afraid to indicate the person who helped you there. Because if you go to the American embassy and they see that you don't understand, they are always even ready to look for an interpreter. An interpreter means that that person will be an intermediary between you and them. You're there, yes, for the interview or whatever, but there is that person who is interpreting and telling them and making sure that you're understanding what is going on. So if there was a preparer, write their name down. So after you have had all that information and you have it filled out correctly, then you will submit your form. After you submit your form, then you are going to wait. Forget about it, but remember, don't forget your username, do not forget your password, do not forget those verification questions. They are very, very important. Now, when you submit your application, your diversity visa application is called a diversity visa, that green card lottery. When you go to the website, it's called a diversity visa. When you submit it, you will get something called a confirmation number. That is very important. That confirmation number is actually is the key to you knowing whether you got your green card or not. So keep it safe. Print it out, because the website, you can print it out, you can save it in your email, you can just have that paper, go put it in a safe place, because you really need that paper to look and see if you qualified. So come May of the next year, so if the people who will fill out their green card lottery in October have to wait until May, so you will go and check. Of course, in my other videos, I'm gonna talk about the date that you go and check whether you have qualified or not. So when you go there, you will log in. You can log in. If you don't remember your login information, because you might not have your login information, then it can tell you, it can try to remind you about your account. So it's gonna ask for your date of birth, or maybe it's gonna ask for your confirmation number, so that you can be able to open your website. It's gonna ask you the verification questions, because you forget. It's very easy to forget about these things, because like I told you, I had forgotten about my confirmation number. I know that when she filled out the green card for us, she gave me the confirmation number, but I had so much paperwork in my office, so I couldn't remember where I kept it. So keep it safe, because you will need it when you go to check. So now come May of the following year, so from May 8 of the next year, you go back to the website and check if you have qualified. So what will you see, or how will you know? How will I know? People ask, how will I know whether I have been selected or not? When you open that website, it will tell you, or the first sentence will say that you have been selected to process for the green card diversity visa. So if you have been selected, then you know that you have won. If the first sentence says you have not been selected, then you will know that you haven't won, excuse me. So after you have won the green card, if you have been selected, because you have been selected, that doesn't mean that if you're selected, you are going to the US. No, you are still long ways before you go. I don't know if the process has changed yet, because when we applied for ours, they didn't ask us for a passport. But if you what I say is that if you have any thought of going to the US, or not even US, any outside Kenya, if you have had those thoughts, it is best to have a passport, because even if you want to go to the neighboring country, you're not gonna go. I know the East African countries you can go without a visa. You can just use your ID. But if you wanna go abroad, it's very important to spend that 6,000 Kenya shillings and apply for your passport. It's very important. It's a step. we walk by faith, and walking by faith is meaning that you have to have something that you have, that in case of anything, you don't have to start, when you have won the green card, you don't have to start thinking of how to look for the passport. Whatever you decide, it doesn't matter. You can apply for the passport after you have won your visa. But my own personal experience, I think it's always good to have a passport. Regardless of what, it's good to have a passport. That is a Kenyan passport. So you have won the green card. Congratulations on that, because that's a huge step. So what is the next thing? You will wait for an email. They will send you an email, and that's why it's important for you to have that information of your email. In your email, they are going to send you all the information. Now, this is where the problem comes in, and I've had people telling me that I filled out a green card, and I won, but the person who filled for me wants me to pay them. No, don't pay them anything. If you did it by yourself, and you have all your information, I don't see why you should be paying anybody for it. I know people are making business on it. I have nothing against those people, but I am trying to tell you that you can do it by yourself. You can do it by yourself. Go check by yourself without involving other people who will end up charging you a lot of money that was unnecessary, that you wouldn't have spent it. So information is the key. If you have the information and you know what to do, I think that it will be easier for you, because after you have won the green card, you will require a lot of money to process it. It's not free. It doesn't mean that when you get the green card that you just go and board a free plane and go to the US. No. So you will wait for that email that will come. It might come maybe 3 months later or 6 months later. It doesn't matter, but there's an email that comes in. I don't know their time frame right now. It's been 7 years, so things might have changed, but they will send you an email. So that email will have details on how to process. They are the ones who to tell you. You have to wait. So they will tell you, they will give you some dates for you to go to do a medical, and they will give you some dates for you to go to the American embassy. So they are the ones who give you the dates, and you can always have an option. If you're not ready, you can call them and tell them you can reschedule your appointment. It's not very hard to reschedule your appointment, especially if you are having financial difficulties, or you haven't sorted yourself out very well, because this is a life-changing experience. So look out, be on the lookout for that email, because that email is going to have all the details. It's going to have all the addresses of where you're going to go for your medical, and the date of the embassy and the time. That's very important. Very, very, very important. So so what do you do, or what do you require when you are going for the medical? Now, when you're going for the medical exam, you must have your passport, your Kenyan passport. That's important. And then you will have had your background check done. So by your background check, I mean that you must have a certificate of good conduct, because the medical appointment and the embassy appointment, they are not very far apart. So make sure that you have a certificate of good conduct, and I know that you know where to go get it. It's at the CID offices in Gigiri. That's where we went to get our good conduct. So these are the things that I was saying, that whether you have not gotten the green card or not, my motto is that I walk by faith. So I will start looking for the passport even before I have gotten the green card or whatever. I'll look for my passport, and I will look for my certificate of good conduct. That's your background check. So when you go for the background check, they are going to check if you have had any criminal activities. Because if you have been a criminal or you are a killer, you are not going to come to the US, believe me. You will not. Because they do not want to accept criminals in their country. It is not discrimination, but it's the right thing. I say it's like even in my house, I don't want to invite a terrorist in my house. No. So they have to know that you're clean. You have to be as clean as a clean slate before you are admitted to this country. So go get your your good conduct, and have your passport, And it's good to have all that other documentation, especially your birth certificate. It's important just to put it in the birth. They won't ask you for it on your medical exam, but it's good to have it. Another thing, so you go for your medical exam, so it's just regular. They'll do a physical on you, they might run some blood tests, and medically I wouldn't talk so much about the medical information, because that's protected information. Because as a nurse, I'm a nurse. I went to school and became a nurse, and I'm very proud to be a nurse and working in the US. After the medical is where you go to the US Embassy to get your visa. Now, before we went for our visa, believe me that we had so much advice that we were like, oh my gosh, we don't even know. We don't know. So do not listen to anybody. Don't listen to what people are saying. Unless someone has gone. Now, like if you came to ask me, I've gone to the American Embassy in Kenya to for that interview for my visa. So if you ask someone like me, at least I have got the experience. But do not listen to what people are saying out there, because people will give you a lot of information that you don't even need. So there is nothing to be anxious about when you're going for the interview. There is nothing to worry about. The people that you're going to find there are human beings just like you and me. They listen. They understand. If you have a question, you can ask. But be confident. That's all you need when you're going for the interview. Be confident. You need that. You need to be dressed well. Number 2, have all your paperwork in place. What do I mean by paperwork? Number 1, you will have, and just before I go to that, let me remind you, when you go to the medical exam, you will have to pay some money for those exams to be done. So it's not free. I don't know how much they are charging right now, because 7 years, maybe things have changed. But you must pay for that. There's some fees that you will pay there for the medical fees. So when that time comes, just be prepared and carry some amount of money, because you will be charged. And so be prepared on that. So when you go to the American Embassy, so what do you need? Number 1, I said you have to be confident. Number 2, don't be anxious about anything. It's just like a job interview. I know anxiety can be there, but there is a myth that says that you have to have this, no, this is what you require. Confidence. Dress smartly, like you're going to look for a job. And then you have to have all your paperwork. By paperwork, I mean all your documents in place. So what do you need? Number 1, you need your Kenyan passport. You will not go for an interview without a Kenyan passport. Number 2, you will need the medical results. They will be sent to the embassy, so you don't need those ones. They will be sent directly to the embassy, because I remember our medical appointment and our American interview appointment were 3 days close. So we went for our medical appointment on a Friday, and our interview was scheduled to be on Monday. So when we went there, it was a little bit funny, because we went there, our appointment was supposed to be at 8 a.m. in the morning, but we ended up seeing the consular at around 10, because our results had not been submitted. So they just told us to wait and not to worry until the medical. Of course, you have that fear that, oh my gosh, are they going to send it or not? No, but it's okay. It's okay. If they tell you to wait, they're still working on it, and you'll get there. You'll get there. So, I said you have to have your passport, and it's good to have your documentation from your school. Like I had my Form 4 certificate. I also had my other paperwork for my hairdressing training and everything, but they didn't ask for that. What was important for them was the Form 4 KCSE certificate, and of course for my spouse, and have all that documentation. And then you have to have your birth certificate. It's important to have a birth certificate. But the birth certificates of your kids, you have to have them. The birth certificate of your spouse. Those are the most important things. Another thing, if you're married, I know us Africans, we get married, come we stay. Now, here you have to have paperwork that you are legally married. So what we did in our case, we had done a traditional wedding, and it's okay if you have done a traditional wedding. That's what we do. And then after we stay a while, then that's when you get the people. I think what I would say, and I remember someone asking me when I had lived in the US, like, how comes you got married on this date? And no, and I had to explain to them that at home we do a traditional marriage, and then later you can do the paper marriage. I call it the paper marriage because marriage is not based on that paperwork. There's so much more marriage, and I'm going to talk about a topic on marriage later on one of my shows. So a marriage certificate is important. So where do you get it? You don't have to go to a church and do a white wedding. No, you don't have to do that, because all the money counts when you're going to process your visa, because there's visa fees, and in Kenyan money that's a lot of money. It's a lot of money that it's a lot. I don't know how much they're charging right now, but I know that by the time we were coming in, me, my husband, and my two kids, we had to pay 120,000 Kenya shillings for 4 visas. So that's a lot of money. It's a lot. It's not easy. So, but we thank God that we were able to pay that amount. So have that money, and then wait. So when you go there, when it's your time, when you go to the American embassy, when it's your time, you will hear your name, or they'll give you a number that will call you by your number, and then you can go for the interview. So I'm going to tell you what they asked us, because those are the only questions that we received from the American embassy. But this interview is for a green card lottery, a diversity visa lottery, because there are many other ways that you can go to the American embassy to get a visa. So I am talking about when you want a green card, what questions were we asked? So when we went to the consular, I'm not gonna lie to you that I wasn't nervous. Believe me, I was. But my husband was like, you don't have to be nervous, you will be okay. And I thank my husband for that, because he was like, we'll be fine. So when we went when they called us, they asked me my name, and they asked my husband his name, and then they asked our kids were just there playing. Kids are not interviewed. Kids who are below, kids who are minors, they are not interviewed, because by that time my oldest son was 10, and my youngest was 4 years old. So the kids just went on a play area there inside the embassy, and they went to play. And that consular asked us, are those your kids? And we said yes. And then the other questions were have you been married? And we are yes, and we said no. And that was it. They only asked us 4 questions, and that was it. And then that lady, I remember she smiled and she said, now I know that you're going to be in heaven, because I just gave you an American visa. I've never been so happy. Oh my gosh, I was so happy. I thank God for that day that we got the American visa to travel to the US. So from there, we had to, so we go home. They don't give you the visa at that time, so you will wait. There's another thing that I forgot, is that you will have to give an address where you want your visa to be sent, and they send your visa through the DHL. So you will give them an address of where you will go. You want to go and pick up your documents, and I know there are so many places in Nairobi that I don't know if they have opened other places in the other parts of the country, but we selected one in Nairobi, and that's where our visas were sent. So that is the first part of my journey, or how I came to become a US citizen. So I've started with how I started with my green card, and up to the time that we got our American visa. So on my next video, I am going to talk about the journey from after we got our visas. What did we do? So what was our journey, and how did we land in the US? So thank you for watching this space, Charity's Bubble, and please like and share and subscribe to our channel so that you can learn more about living in the US, because this is the land of opportunity, and it's a land of milk and honey. But I will explain on that statement later on my other videos. So thank you for watching, and keep on looking out for new videos on this page. Thank you.